Hello and welcome back to the Canary Chat channel. This one's just a little reaction off the back of Norwich versus Middlesbrough, just back from watching it with the family. Just thought I'd jump on, give my thoughts on the game, especially with it being Jack Wilshere's first, well, I was going to say first ever managerial role. Obviously, he had the role at the under-18s at Arsenal, but first kind of senior managerial game. First of all, the lineup. So Rory Conville came in, Doyle was in. There's a few changes. Marcunders was dropped for fitness reasons. Long was dropped completely, not for fitness reasons, but he weren't even on the bench. Gunn came back in, and it seemed like we set up with a 3/5 at the back. Stacey on the right, McLean on the left, with Rory, Shane Duffy, and Doyle as the three centre backs. All in all, I thought Middlesbrough played below par for them. Normally expect a lot more from them. I thought we kept Conway very quiet as well. But in general, I thought taking away before we go into the Norwich performance, taking kind of that into consideration, that I don't think Middlesbrough were exactly firing on all cylinders, which was a little bit peculiar. Coventry obviously dropped points with Luton, scoring a last-minute winner. I really would have thought that Middlesbrough would have come out of the gates kind of absolutely hammering on the door. But yeah, it all seemed a little bit lackluster. The crowd were getting on their back quite early on as well. But yeah, disappointing from Middlesbrough's point of view. Considering we've got nothing to play for as well, I thought they would have just been absolutely at us. But yeah, in general, I thought positive signs. I've just watched Wilshere's post-match interview, and he was talking about the love of defending, and I thought we saw that a lot more in this game. The last-minute challenges, the defending around the box, I personally thought were better than previous games. It could just be an effect of new manager, and you kind of see what you want to see. But in my opinion, I don't think that was better. I also thought the press, there was a lot more energy in the press, and coming from the midfield as well as the forward line. So I thought that really helped us further up the pitch. And the transitions as well, I thought were a bit sharper, were a bit more direct, a bit pacier in what we were doing, which I did think really helped. But yeah, again, it's a little bit difficult to measure it up against that Middlesbrough team that just didn't turn up to races. You could argue that we played well and we stopped them playing their game, and with that happening, kind of allowed us to implement the style that Wilshere was looking to implement. So I think that is a fair argument. Going through kind of player-wise, thought Gunn had an outstanding game, probably the best game he's had all season. And I think if we had had that type of performance from our goalkeepers for the whole season, we would, I wouldn't want to say be in playoffs, but we'd certainly be in contention of playoffs. I think before this game, I think I was looking at Trafford had a 12 goals, 12 goals prevented, so you'd prevented 12 more goals than expected, and our goalkeepers had prevented minus 11 goals. So a 23 goal swing basically between two sets of goalkeepers, and that can have a detrimental effect on the season. But yeah, I thought Gunn had a very, very good game, a few outstanding saves. I thought McConville looked really solid at the back. Obviously, he was hooked at half-time against Burnley, probably knocked his confidence, but I thought he looked really good. He looked settled, especially in that back three with Duffy and Doyle. I thought Doyle and Duffy put in some very good last kind of ditch challenges. So again, looked really positive. Coming over to the right-hand side, Jack Stacey was more in a right winger role than the right back role. He's been arguably our best right winger since Cernat's been injured. But I thought he was outstanding today. He was given plenty of options. He was beating players. He was cutting back in. He was getting crosses in. Sometimes lacked a little bit of the composure for the cross. But away from that, I thought he looked really, really good. And props to him. He had a very good game. I thought McLean was solid, as always. And coming on to Jacob Wright, he's a joke. We need to sign him. For all intents and purposes, it was reported that personal terms, kind of basically already agreed with the player in January, so it's just a case of implementing the buy option. I think the obligation was down on how many appearances he had, and I don't think we're going to meet that. But we do kind of still have first dibs, so I think that will hopefully be triggered, and we'll get that signing across the line. Sarge obviously had a couple of opportunities as well. And Sainz had a couple, and I think there was one worldy save from their keeper, which was very good to kind of prevent us. So, all in all, I think a draw was fair. I think we might have slightly edged it, but yeah, I don't think we can get too carried away. I've kind of asked out what people's opinions were, and as you can see, kind of right here, everyone seems relatively positive about it all. But again, it's one game against a Middlesbrough team that didn't show up, so we I don't think we can look into it too much. But we did keep a clean sheet. We did threaten the box, so it was a positive step in the right direction, in my opinion. So yeah, leave your thoughts down below. Should Jack Wilshere be the new permanent Norwich manager? Should we be looking elsewhere? Obviously, he has the Cardiff game. They're basically relegated or nearly relegated. I think goal difference is the only thing that would save them, and their goal difference is terrible. So we've got that game to see kind of how Wilshere approaches that. But yeah, leave a like, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video.